I have 2 art markets in one weekend. So 2 art markets might be a little bit of an exaggeration. I have 1 market event and 1 night that I'm vending at a local show. So 1 7-hour event, 1 3-hour event. Not that crazy. The problem is, this is what my table looks like right now. Not in the best condition, a little scuffed up, and I have to figure out what I'm putting on it, what stuff I'm bringing to sell. So let's take care of the table first.
So basically I just wanted to make super basic square table cover, 5-inch hang down around all the edges with a larger panel in front that I'm going to end up painting my logo on. So most of this is just me wrestling with this massive piece of fabric. It's like 4 yards of heavy cotton twill. So I'm cutting it down to a rough size before I wash it, just so I don't have to deal with the full 4 yards. And then this is me Googling if I can rip cotton twill, because I tried, and apparently you can't, because it has a diagonal weave. So the more you know. And the pieces I'm cutting here are just a square about 2 inches bigger than the surface of the tabletop, and then 2 6-inch strips that'll wrap around the outside to make it really snug on the table. And I'm cutting all of these 2 to 3 inches larger than I want them to end up because I haven't washed this fabric yet and I am expecting it to shrink a little bit. Hopefully I won't lose too much. I'll retrim it after it's been washed and ironed, just to shore up all the straight lines. And I know that's the wrong order to do this in completely, but this is a huge piece of fabric and I really don't want to deal with washing and ironing the whole thing when I only need 1/4 of it. And then the cat took over the table. Here she comes. I'm gonna lay all over my clean white fabric and get it covered in her furs. So I just let her have that for a little bit and I took a little break. And then after I cut all the pieces, I washed them all and then I ironed them all out. Pretty standard, nothing too crazy. Spritz it with some water, press down those edges. This is kind of an annoying fabric to deal with ironing just because it's so thick, but we got it done. I completely forgot to film this part, but I hand painted my logo onto the front panel of the table cover. This is sort of the main reason why I was doing this. Get a little more branding in the setup. But that came out pretty good. I'm really proud of it. Pay no attention to the guidelines that you see. Those iron out. It's heat sensitive pencil. It came out pretty crisp. I'm happy with it.
Now that that's covered, that being the table, of course, now I have to figure out my display situation. I know I'm bringing prints. I know I'm bringing stickers. I don't have a lot of either of those. I got these little heart photo frames. I'm gonna try to get those done and painted in time for the market. And I also want to make some Valentine's cards because one of these markets is gonna be on Valentine's Day.
So these are just little 1/4-inch wood panels with a heart cut out of the middle to put a picture in. I'm sanding them down and then painting a base coat on all of them. I did a green one, a purple one, a pink one, a blue one, and a yellow one. I was having a lot of trouble coming up with what to paint on these. I had a few ideas, but not enough ideas for 5 of them. So I had these strings of candy beads that I was originally making a beaded curtain out of, but you need a lot of strings of beads to make a beaded curtain, apparently. So I didn't think that project was ever going to get done, and I glued the strips of beads onto a few of these frames. I think they came out super cute. These did not end up working out. I'll explain more on that later, but I'm happy I tried it. I didn't film too much of this process either, but I also printed and cut a bunch of stickers this week.
Yeah, so I did a lot for those frames. All the beads kept falling off, which, you know, I could have predicted because I didn't sand the beads and hot glue doesn't stick to a rough surface, but I wanted it to be easy. So those are going to be listed on my website at a later date. They're not going to be ready for these markets, and that's okay. I think what I need to do is like coat them in resin, fix all the beads that fell off, do a little coat of resin over top. It'll be nice and shiny. It'll for sure keep everything in place. But I don't have resin right now, and it's not going to be fully cured in 2 days. So we're going to put a pin in that. But what I do have, little handmade collage valentines. We have Be Mine with a little heart on the back. A For My Love, another little heart on the back. And then, you know, I know my market for these markets. I know the client base. We'll see how that one does, you know? I don't think it needs words. And these are all just, blank on the inside, write your own message kind of thing. So I made all of these with collage bits that I had lying around. A big chunk of these, like all the lace in the background is actually just, I photocopied a roll of lace. If you have a scanner and a printer, anything is possible in collage world. So cut and pasted magazine letters, got all those together. And then I photocopied them, so I have 6 of each. Love making multiples. Again, so easy once you have a printer. It's annoying that it's like an expensive piece of machinery, but it opens up so many possibilities. Like if you're an artist and you're like, what piece of equipment do I need first? It's a printer, for sure. And then speaking of the magics of my printer, I also made a few larger prints. So this is a piece I did in, I believe, 2019. It's called I Heart You, I spelled EYE. A very fun one. I love it so much. So we have big 8x11 cardstock prints of this. And also my newest painting that is currently listed on my website. Go buy it if you really like it. This is Glitter in the Storm. This one I do think doesn't translate as well into a print just because a big part of the actual painting is the 3D lightning strikes and all the glitter. And I'm not going to individually glitter all these paper prints. So we have these, we have big prints, we have Valentine's, we have a beautiful table cover, I have plenty of jewelry that I have made previously. I think it's time to put this table together. This is also kind of a big step up for me. I got like an actual vertical print display. So instead of having them all flat out on the table, I will have them displayed so nicely and neatly this time. This was very annoying to build though. It's like laser cut pieces that slot together. So I do have a video of me building that, but you won't see it because I got so mad. Yeah. And finally, the price sign. A lot of tables at markets, at least the smaller markets that I go to, don't have a posted price sign or even prices on items individually. Personally, when I'm going to a market, as a person with crazy anxiety, price sign, so helpful. I don't have to talk to you to know if something's out of my budget, and I never want to be like, oh, how much is this? And then make someone feel bad with my reaction because art is worth what the artist says it's worth, and a lot of times more than they say it's worth. So price sign, it's great, especially for the markets I'm doing at loud hardcore shows. Alright, so that's how I get ready for a market. Usually I'm crunching in the week leading up to a market. This time started about 2 weeks ahead. That was a lot better. I was not trying to finish paintings the night before, and clear coating the morning of, hoping they'd be dry by the time I had to leave. This table is actually more full at the markets. Sorry to burst your bubble. I'm filming this after I did those. So yeah, markets went great. I had a great time. If you like any of the cool art, that I have here out on the table, most of it's for sale on my website. These little balaclavas are available on my website. Jewelry, prints, stickers will be on the website this Friday. I'm doing a big, I say big. I have 6 stickers and they'll all be on my website this Friday, $2 each, or a bundle of 3 for $5. If you like what I make, please leave a like, subscribe, comment even, follow me other places like Blue Sky and Instagram. If you really, really love it, consider supporting me on Patreon. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, love you, bye!